EC here. Hi, guys and gals. Well, hope you're all well. It is Monday, and today will be no exception, as on Mondays I usually do tags. Albeit a forewarning is probably for the next few weeks I will not be, because might not, because I'll be away with my son, daughter-in-law, and grandchildren in Spain. But I don't know if first off, I don't know how I'll have the chance to do them and how the connections will be and so on. So forewarned. Okay. Otherwise, well, I hope that you're all well. I will start as usual with Jasmine's tag. Hi there, Jasmine. And I do hope that you are well. And we'll start with Jasmine's 5-question tag. And if you're wondering where I am, I'm outside in my barbecue corner because we have guests coming over, and I won't have time in the day probably to do them, so I'm hurrying up before I'm starting. Yeah. So let's go. Question 1. Biggest mistake you made? Wow. I've probably made a few mistakes in my life. Not only probably, I certainly have. I think I'll think of one in my work period. Probably a lot of things here will be taken also in the work period, is to have taken the wrong side in an argument without checking completely the background, and then realizing that I was wrong and that I had defended the wrong side very virulently. And it took me a long time with certain people to recover, on that aspect. Now, to my defense, I maybe took the wrong side, but the other people were not nice people. So, yeah. But I had to admit that I was wrong. And it's kind of difficult to admit that you're wrong to people that you know are a bunch of rotten people. But anyway, that's the way how life is sometimes. That's question 2. Question 1. Question 2. What do you take for granted? Taking things for granted. Well, taking things for granted in the sense of that I don't have to question if it's true or that it's not true. I'll say the love of God for me, the love of my family for me. I can take that for granted. You might think, well, didn't you add some friends? Well, you know something? Up to now, I've seen that you can almost take for granted with some friends, and then you realize that you got to be careful. Sometimes you get taken on a ride, but the ones that I've mentioned, yeah, I can take those for granted. And I really must say that taking things for granted is a risky business, especially if you're outside of the absolutely secure circle in your life. Taking things for granted can give you some really bad surprises. Okay, that was question 2. That wasn't too bad, actually. Question 3. Have you ever had a bad reputation you did not deserve? Again, I think I'll go into a work situation where I was helping a group to quickly write up certain papers and things like that. I'm just going to place this on the table here. Oops, sorry. The people thought that I was only doing that for myself. And actually, at the time, I was the team leader. So it was, in a way, part of my job and part of my responsibilities to see that things moved ahead. But it was taken as if it was me trying to do things for me and only for me, and being a very unkind, selfish person, and people didn't actually realize in that respect that I was doing it for me, also for me, but it was a team effort. Another bad reputation in that respect is being a shy person. Or I like to say a non-shy introvert. So in other words, in other situations, I am shy when it gets to the small talk and stuff. Get the bad reputation of being a snob, and people think I'm a snob because, well, he doesn't come and talk to me automatically. Yeah, because it's difficult for me at times. Yeah. Okay, is that question 3? Yes. Question 4. Wow, I'm going right through these. Let me see. Question 4. What do you think? Oh, this is a completely other one. What do you think about public car parking charge? Like, well, in the city where we live, it's ridiculous. It's counted by portions. If I'm not wrong, it's counted by exact time that you are parked, and it's not counted as exact time. What I mean by that is that it's always to the advantage of the city or wherever you're parked. So if you've started, let's say, minute 3, I'm talking about minutes right now, but if you're starting on minute 3, well, you will pay for all of minute 3, and so on. There is the parking meters that we have they don't give change. They are very finicky. We have loads of constables that walk around the town all day, just looking to add, to the town's finances through parking charges. Now, there is one thing that the town really hates, is that there's so many apps right now, and these apps actually permit you to pay the right amount, and since the parking machines don't give change, they always make loads of money through this, because the app, if I'm using the app and if I'm there for 2 hours and 2 minutes, it'll be 2 hours and 2 minutes. If I've paid in the machine, I'll have probably paid for 3 hours, because I won't be able to get the change, and so on. So they're very annoyed with these apps because, it's still a bad situation, but we're getting through it that way somehow, and they don't like it. So what the town has done, and to help them make more money, they've reduced the number of free hours. What I mean by that, we would have like overnight. Well, you can still have overnight, but the evening starts later than it used to, and stuff like that. Little tricks, so to say. Anyway, we got to see. Parking charges are an enormous part of the funding of a town. Yeah, and they know where the money is, and it's in our pocket, isn't it? Okay, question 5 and last. What just is not fair in your eyes? Oh, goodness sakes. Large part of life. That's such an open question, isn't it? I think that the way sometimes that people will be treated by society, the way, for example, that media will present what's going on in the world is very biased, and that's just not fair, because it doesn't give a whole other part of the world or another part of an opinion a chance to express itself. So that's something that's not fair. So basically one can almost say, life, and life is not expected. I'm going to say it's weird, but on this world and on this earth, life is not fair, you know, and there's ways to help it, but I'm not going to get into that in this vlog. But that's it. I am up to 10 minutes. Goodness sakes. Okay, so thank you very much, Jasmine. I'm kind of trying to hurry, but even if I try to hurry, I end up taking a long time. Thank you, Jasmine, for another good set of questions. Take care, everybody, and I'll be DC signing off. Bye-bye.